Good day, folks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do the Pythagoras theorem. And the Pythagoras theorem, we are working with a right angle triangle. From the previous topic, we know what is a right angle triangle. It's a shape with three sides, and it has the box there. And the two sides that are perpendicular, BC and AC, these sides are perpendicular. How do you see? We see by a 90 there. That box represents a 90. So we call this angle, it's a right angle triangle. Now, the Pythagoras theorem, it's a theorem of calculating one of the sides. If you are given two sides and then you are looking for one side, you can use the theorem of Pythagoras. Now it says here, in any right angle triangle, the square of on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. This is simply mean the formula. It says the square of the hypotenuse, guys. This the side that is opposite the 90, we call it's a hypotenuse. It's the longest side, right? These two sides are adjacent sides, right? It's an adjacent side, but we call this side, it's what? It's opposite. The word adjacent means next to each other. And on this side, we call it's what? It's adjacent, right? So the formula for the Pythagoras theorem, we said the square on the hypotenuse, which is the square is what is the hypotenuse is what is AB. So the square of the hypotenuse is AB square. That's the square of the hypotenuse. In other words, the square of the longest side is equal to the sum of what? The square on the other two sides. That means it's a square of what? Of AC square, and a square of what? Of BC. Right? So all the time, guys, when you use the Pythagoras theorem, it's a square of the longest side, which is AB, equal to the sum of AC square plus BC square. Alternatively, what you can do, you can use this small symbol. This side is AC, or it's what? Or it's B. And this side is AB, or it's C. This side is BC, or it's B, or it's A. This side is BC, or it's A. So instead of using the ABs, you can use the small letters. You can say the square of the longest side, which is the hypotenuse. In this case, it's going to be what? It's going to be C square, equal to the sum of the square of the other side, which is going to be what? It's B square plus A square, right? That's the formula for the theorem of Pythagoras. It's the longest side. Square of the longest side is equal to the sum of the square of the other side. Now these ones, we use the small letters here. So it depends what you're looking for. Always it's going to be like this. But now let's say we were looking for okay, let's leave it like that, guys. Here's another example, folks. We have this right angle triangle. How do you see it? There's a 90 there, and it has three sides, and we're given the side BC is 12 centimeter. We're given the side AC is 9 centimeter. The question, and if you look at this, we are not given this side AB, and the question definitely is going to ask for that side. It says calculate the length AB, so we're given the two lengths. So what do? You do as usual, you write the formula. You say the square of the longest side, which is the longest side is AB, is equal to the sum of the square of the two sides, which is the square of what? Of BC square plus the square of what? Of AC. Right? And then the next thing that we do, we substitute. We are looking for AB square, and then we have BC. Our BC is what? It's 12 plus, and AC is what? Is 9 square. So if you put that in the calculator, 12 square, it's 144, and 9 square is 81. So we're going to have 144 plus 81 here, So when you add the 2, 81 plus 144, it's 225. 225. But bear in mind here, we're looking for what? For AB, not for AB square. So in order to get rid of that, you have to shelter that by putting the square root. When you put the square root in both sides, so you're going to have what? AB. So AB, and then you use the calculator, grade 8 and 9. The square root of 225 is going to be what? 15. 15 what? 15 centimeter, because the other side the other sides are in centimeters. So this side is what? It's 15 centimeter. Now let's go to example 2. Example 2, we are given this is a right angle triangle. We are given the side EF and DF, which is the longest side we are given. Now we are looking for one of the smallest side. If you're looking here, it's the smallest side. We're given EF and DF. We're looking for DE. So the formula will always be the square of the longest side. The square of the longest side. The longest side is what? Is DF. So it's DF squared is equal to the sum of the square of what? Of EF. That's the square of EF and the square of what? Of DE. Alright? And then we have EF. We have EF, which is what? It's 15 square plus. And do we have the DE? DE is the one that we're looking for. And we have DF. DF is what? Is 17 square. So what we're going to do here, we're going to punch in the calculator. The square root of 17 is 289, equal the square root of 15 is 225. That's 225 plus DE square. Don't forget the square. And then what we're going to do, we're going to transpose. So we're going to have 289 minus 225 equal to DE square. You put that in the calculator. 289 minus 225, it's 64. So you have 64 equal to DE square. Remember, what do? We're looking for DE. So you put there square root in DE and also in 64. What you do in the left hand side, to do it in the right hand side. So therefore, so our DE, it's going to be equal to, when you put the square root of 64, square root 64 is 8. So that side is what? It's 8 centimeter. Not centimeter, it's going to be 8 what? 8 meters. At that example, it says calculate the length of PR, right? If you're looking at this triangle, we have a triangle PQR. In this triangle PQR, angle R is equal to 90 degrees. If we can see there, that's 90. So now we are looking to calculate the side PR. Where is PR? PR is this side, right? So we are given the hypotenuse and the other side, which is the longest side. So what we're going to do there, we write the formula as usual. So we'll say the square of the longest side, which is its PQ square, equal to the sum of the other two sides, the sum of the square of the other side, which is it's PR square and QR square. And then we substitute what we have. Remember, if we are not given the units there, it's going to be units. So if we're not given centimeters or meters or whatever, so it's going to be 45 units, 51 units. The size that we're going to get here, it must be whatever units. And this size that we're looking for, which is PR, we're looking for PR, it must be lesser than 51, which is the longest side. So let's substitute. The PQ, it must be lesser than PQ, sorry. PQ is 51, we substitute 51. square, and PR is the one that we're looking for, and QR is 45 units square. And then when you punch that in the calculator, you punch 51 square, it's 2601, and then you have PR square plus 45 square, punch it in the calculator, it's 2025. So what are you going to do? You're going to transpose this to the other side, so you have 2601 to minus this side, will change the sign, it's 2025. That's the year. We'll do whatever, guys. So it's PR square, so it's 2601 minus 2025, so it's 576 equal to PR square. And then you put the square root there, square root in both sides. So the square root for that answer, it's going to be, therefore, PR, it's going to be 24. 24 what? Remember I said it's what? Units. Okay, let's look at example 4. Example 4, it says in triangle ABC, this triangle is ABC, B is equal to 90, it's a right angle triangle. C is 18 units. Where's C? C is this side, is 18 units, and A, it's 24 units. You see A is this side. Calculated the length B, which is we're looking for the longest side. So let's cut the chase. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use the small letters here because they want their small letter, which is, we're not going to use AC. That side is AC, but you're going to be right if you use that. But now in this case, let's use the small letters. So we'll say the square of the longest side. The longest side is what? It's B square, is equal to the sum of the square of the other side. So the other side is going to be what? It's A square plus C square. And then the B square, the B, we're looking for B there. So we're going to put B square, and A, do we have A? Yes, A is 24 units. So it's 24 square. And then C is what? Is 18 units. It's 18 square. So what are you going to do? You say 24 square is equal to 576. And then you say 18 square, it's 324. So 576 plus 324, the answer is what? Is 900. Remember, this is still B square. We're looking for B. What do? We put the square root. So when we put the square root, we'll have, therefore B is equal to the square root of 900 is 30. It's 30. So the answer here, it's going to be what? 30. 30 what? 30 units. Guys, all the time, the sides, whatever answer that you're going to have, it's always be positive. It will be always positive, so therefore your B is greater, must be greater than 0. And here your PR must be greater than 0, which is, it must be positive. All the values that we calculate here, they must be positive.